it's all about the high performance and the sustainability space. We've invested heavily into that as a business over the last 6 months. But it's not only about the education and the knowledge about that, it's meaningfully getting product to you guys in a timely manner, making sure that we're working hard behind the scenes to get them products to you, making sure that your business is running as smooth as possible, and we're keeping to our promise of being easy to deal with.
G'day guys, welcome back to part 2 of our chat with Suzanne from Circa, Damien, BDM of Bowens, and Dan from Evans Building Group. Enjoy the episode, guys, as we wrap up this incredible conversation. One for Dan. Just want to touch on like the evolution of construction materials. What are some of the things that you guys are excited about that you've seen coming out in recent times, or any new products or methods of building that you guys are starting to implement that you're excited about?
Yeah, so the Dinsel was the first one that we used last year on a project. We built a basement, the Dinsel. Hadn't used it before, did a lot of research and homework on it, and it's worked out great. It's been a good product. The PVC windows, like I said, we've got one coming up. That's another good one. All the tapes and seals that we've been through, just some cool stuff that it's different building to what sort of I might have been taught when I did my apprenticeship. So there's a little bit of got to move with the times to a degree and grow with it. Yeah, but it's exciting. Like it's keeps you busy and the mind doesn't stop. Yeah, interesting.
Just with that Thermotech window job that Dan's doing, it's the first job that Thermotech are doing with the clicking system at the factory. So they're installing the click bricks in the factory, so it's a lot easier for when it gets to site as well.
Yeah, so for listeners that aren't really familiar with it, they're Thermotech a UPVC window, high-performing window system. So, and the click-in system is something to really fast-track, get them to site, set everything, your screws into your frame, click it in, tape it up, walk away.
Yep.
It's quite exciting at times. Like we've had some conversation during a big podcasting day today on some products, and chatting with the previous guests about some insulation that's recycled denim we've got behind us. The camera can't see, but we've got save board, which is chopped up rubbish, basically compressed into a sheeting used for a lot of different things. We've got the collection of wood sitting at the bottom of our lakes in Tasmania to be resourced for products. So, it's quite exciting that we're actually getting adventurous with what we're putting into our builds. And I think, Suzanne, you're finding that's across the board with people you're dealing with, from design through to build and clients?
I think people are getting quite excited about the options that are available to them. Sometimes there's a bit of a slow speed kind of at the beginning of these things, but there is certainly an excitement. As you said, the board that's behind us, the safe board, it's made from soft plastics. It's recycled soft plastics, which couldn't be done 10 years ago. And it's a full circular economy. So it's just not just making a product. It can actually then, once it's finished in this use, it can then be reused again. There's companies like Crafted Hardwoods that are taking those trees that boards can't be made out of them, and they're the way that they're treating them and laminating, they're being reused, and they're making still a timber product. It's different, but it's beautiful, and it gets people excited on how can I use this? It's got a different aesthetic to it. It's got a different feel to it. How can I look at you? And I do find people are getting quite excited about those options and those the variety that they can get with that. It's really interesting. It's a really exciting time, I think.
I've actually been fortunate enough to do a tour of the Crafted Hardwoods factory in Adelaide, and that is, I can vouch for that. Yeah. That is an incredible product.
Yeah, it is.
It was watching it be fabricated and the layers being put on, and you could see the end grain of the product or the finished product, and thinking, well, how do they actually get it? It looks like a real tree, like the grain in the tree, and then watching it go through the last little bit and how they create that, the way that it's pressed, it's a phenomenal product. So definitely something I remember asking the question if one day they think they'll see that be a possible option for framing material, whether that's an alternative. So maybe one day. One day.
I think when we're in a stage 2, I know we're talking with some of the suppliers and companies about our carbon management. we could have some materials come from Europe, which we quite often do. And I know McCormack's with Thermo are quite big on this, and it's actually more carbon savings to get that product here, use it in Australia, than it is to use obviously some of our hardwoods. We've gone away from a deforestation for hardwoods here, which is making it harder to get those materials that, as chippies and builders, Dan and Luke, and Damo, we were just used to using. Like every floor used to be a hardwood floor. You walk into a showroom now and there's not really a lot of hardwoods around apart from laminate engineered options.
Suzanne, so Circa's always obviously been pretty forward thinking in the selection of materials that you're bringing into the showroom and providing for people to select from. What are you finding there's any current trends that are taking over at the little moment, and how are you navigating sort of keeping on top of what the current trend may be?
So lots of things go into that. There's trends for Australia, trends globally, how that interacts. As I said before, we do work quite closely with Damien and the innovations team because they're very much forward thinking, always looking for what's out there and those possibilities. But there are a lot of trends at the moment that we're looking at. So for flooring, there's the wide planks. We're looking at options. We're bringing a new selection out that's going to be 4 colours in a wider range engineered board. We only last week discussed bringing out our own Circa wall paneling range, because wall paneling is something, or internal lining, something that's very, very popular. That texture and aesthetic that's people want to bring into their home for something just to add an extra layer on. That's very popular as well. That we're still looking at biophilic, which bringing the nature in. That's still very, very popular as well. So different materials, obviously different finishes. There's always going to be changes in that, and people are looking at. But it's really exciting, the products that we could bring in, those the aesthetics that people now create within them.
Yep. Suzanne and Damo, from a supply point of view, we're in an era where people are becoming more aware of healthy building materials for health of home. So we've seen changes in the stone industry last year with silica being removed from our bench tops. People are actually doing the research themselves before they're coming to builders or while they're going through the build journey for low VOC. Dan, as well, you come in here with some of the trades with painting and materials going in. So are you seeing a change in conversation from supply about these products before they're hitting the shelves?
A little bit. You do get that people are concerned, and they do want to know how that affects them. I mean, the whole conversation around silica isn't actually for the end user. That's what happens when it's being manufactured. That's the people that are handling it. So by the time it gets to the end user, it's not something that necessarily affects them. But it is. Certainly, people are much more concerned these days about sustainability, about the health of themselves and products that they use. Quite rightly so, and we need to answer that. It's certainly a discussion that we're having.
It's definitely around awareness. As you say, people are doing more of their research, and people are understanding it a lot better, and they have a great understanding of it now. Whereas in the past, it was just something that might have been just a thought of 5-minute conversation, but now it's in depth. It takes up a bit of time, that conversation, and if you're not on top of the game, you don't know.
You're finding that too, Dan, with clients? Are they coming with questions about that to you on the back of silica being removed from stone? Are they understanding that it's the process of creating some of the materials they're asking for?
Yeah, correct. And like we said before, a lot of it comes down to cost as well. So having the conversation early on with other products that we use, make sure they're still getting what they want, but going home and safe and healthy.
Giving everyone options, which is amazing.
Correct.
Yeah, yep.
From a quality control perspective, Dave, I'll throw this one over to you. How do Bowens manage, or how are you managing as well from like the during the procurement process, what steps are you taking to ensure that what you guys are selecting is the highest or the best quality material out there for your builders clients?
We have a great procurement team within Bowens that actually is sourcing and speaking to suppliers all day, every day. That's a little bit out of my league, so I can't really. I do know a little bit of the process about it, how they are doing their due diligence on whether it is the fit for purpose style or what the assets are for that particular product, or whether it is a sustainable product or everything, something like that. So they are looking at all that. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting process. But no, that's something that I don't really delve into. We do have a very good procurement team within Bowens.
Yep.
And merch as well. Merch
Yeah.
spends a lot of time. We don't just go to any old supplier. We work with professional companies that have a standing in the industry, and we ensure that we do a thorough look through and process of the products they supply, how they supply them, how they're manufactured, that they're making meeting Australian standards. There is a massive process behind actually before it gets to us here at the showroom doors. That there is a lot of time spent with the innovations, the purchasing, merchandising.
At the end of the day, it's got to sell, doesn't it? There's no
does,
point having
yeah.
all this stuff and it's got no buy, pay, take up.
It's got to have some sort of demand out there for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But from our perspective as well, it's got to be something that we're happy to stand behind as well.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? Have you got specific steps that you guys are taking, implementing these products on site just to ensure that construction is up to your standard? You got any steps for quality control that you'd like to talk about?
In terms of quality control, we've got the guys on site. We all have our steps that we run through for our normal build process, the new products and the information. Try to do a little bit of due diligence before we're installing it, and then the guys will come out on site and help as well. So I suppose it's just about the communication with everyone on site.
Yep.
And just it's not rushing. Like even if it's quite a job and it's cost me a bit of money, let's just do it properly, do it once.
Have pride in what you do.
The whole build better, it's pride. It's stand back at the end of the day and appreciate what you're doing.
And then you've got that, I think we touched on it earlier, you've got that option as well if you need some advice or a little bit of tech information on the specific product. You've always got Bowens to fall back on.
100%. Yeah. Thanks.
Hey guys, let's just take a really quick pause in today's episode. We just need to take this opportunity to thank our sponsor, Wonderbuild, for helping bring Build Insight to our listeners. Wonderbuild is an easy-to-use estimating and construction management software. My favourite thing about Wonderbuild is they're working with the builders to bring in estimating and construction management software to the building industry. It's quickly changing the way that builders are running their businesses with so many key features that are limiting other expenses like live chat channels, live data tracking, and we're syncing with your accounting software and so much more. Head over to www.wonderbuild.com. Thanks a lot. Let's get back to it.
And probably more of a question for all of you, and this would include design, interior design as well, but is there some things that we can keep doing as an industry whole to close the gap between that us versus them mentality that I feel has been rampant in the industry for a long time? You know, you've got an architect here and then the builders over here and the clients over here. It really is a teamwork to make a home come together.
It is, and I think a lot of it is what you mentioned earlier, Dino, is collaboration. There needs to be a lot more collaboration within these industries. I think it's starting to get better, but it can get better. It can be a lot better than what it is and how it has been. Because as you say, you've got one over there, one over there, one over there, and you guys are probably more qualified to answer this. How many times have you seen something drawn up that you can't build, or something that's been specified that might not exist, or is hard to get? So therefore, that's where that early conversation at design stage is far more important than probably the conversations that you and us have. That makes sense.
It's also about education as well. You've got to know, if you're going to specify something, you've got to know that it's fit for purpose. You've got to know that it's possible. There's no point just saying, I just like the look of that. You've got to know that you can implement it, how it can be implemented. You've got to know how it's going to be installed, how it's going to work. Everyone's got to educate themselves on what they're using. It's not down to just one person or another, but I feel that sometimes people do throw something in just because, oh, it looks pretty. I kind of like the look of that. Unless you know how it's going to work, how you can detail it, how you can implement it in order to make it easier and actually possible for the next person in that stage, then you shouldn't be putting it in specification. Everybody has to be educated on what it is that they use.
The early engagement with your builder.
It's massive.
Yeah. I think, so education, collaboration, early engagement, get your team together. Damo, we went to a bit of an industry night the last couple of weeks, and it was probably a mix of 50-50 architects and builders in the room. And there was a question thrown by someone I respect in the industry towards architects, and that was to sort of put your hands up if you're working with your preferred building team early on. And I think probably who architects put their hand up. And on the back of that, there's probably a figure of something about 5% of homes being built by architects, and there's some amazing architects out there, and I think there's a lot of uptake from really renowned architects to get that involvement early, especially in high performance homes that require a lot of planning. So I think there's some key areas there is amazing, and to hear education, Suzanne, it's a big one.
Yeah, education and communication.
What's next for all of you? Big segue here, but I'm interested to hear what's maybe start with Circa. Like, what's on the horizon? Have you got any new exciting products that are coming in that you?
We do. I get quite excited about products, which is quite sad.
It's your job.
We've got some new doors coming in that are just a little bit unusual, a little bit out there, both internally and externally. We've got a lot of hardwares coming in from Windsor, Buster and Punch, Teller, just some new, really beautiful looking products. As I said earlier, we're looking at some wide plank engineered flooring boards. We want to put a new range together. And last week we got a little bit excited as well. We were discussing linings, decided that off the cuff that we were going to do a Circa linings range as well. So there's a few things that I'm quite excited about that I'm kind of want to get on.
Fantastic. Dan, what about from a builder's perspective, mate? Where your projects are at the moment? Where do you see Evans Building Group expanding to in the future, and what direction would you like to go? Yeah,
so like I said, we have grown very quickly. We've got a lot of good projects on the horizon. I'm very excited to see what's coming. Got a good little team, and we've got a good clientele. The name's growing, and it's good to work with these kind of guys at Bowens. It's a really good environment, and the relationships are very big for me. And I feel if from the client to the suppliers as well and the trades, if you can get that right, to be able to make some money and have a lot of fun along the way and make good friendships. So for us, we're just going to keep growing. Not too big. I want to keep it pretty personable. And a lot of good stuff to come. So we're very excited.
What about as the main supplier, mate? Damo, where do you see, what's the next goal you reckon from your opinion? We won't hold you to it. Where do you see the next thing for Bowens?
Well, the next thing with Bowens is obviously the course that we've been through. Relates back to that. It's all about the high performance and the sustainability space. We've invested heavily into that as a business over the last 6 months. But it's not only about the education and the knowledge about that, it's about meaningfully getting product to you guys in a timely manner. Making sure that we're working hard behind the scenes to get them products to you. Making sure that your business is running as smooth as possible, and we're keeping to our promise of being easy to deal with. So if we can make sure that maintains and rolls on, and then I think we've made a good service to you guys.
I think with the right people in the industry and everybody working together as a whole, I think it is in the right direction. Maybe some people might think it's going fast enough, but I'd sort of say at times that if it goes too fast, how many people get left behind, and there's a lot of flow-on damage to that. We've seen a lot of liquidations and closures of businesses, not just builders, but businesses around. So, I feel like with more conversations around supply, that customer service, it goes the same for a builder to customer service to a client building their home. So I think it's pretty positive. But guys, before we finish up, we just want to fire a few rapid fire questions at your way. I know Damo's pretty nervous, so I might let Lukey read out a question of Damo.
Damo got to sit and watch the first podcast before this, and we always try to say rapid fire questions. We want short answers. As long as you're quicker than the last one, I think you'll be doing well.
Before we jump into the rapid fire questions, actually, because Luke's just flying over from Adelaide, so he actually got put up at the Damo's place last night. What, this guy prepared dinner and everything. You jumped into that really quickly.
I think I'm coming back next weekend.
Must admit, I did know a brisket.
Yeah. Brisket. How many hours? 16-hour brisket?
16-hour brisket, yeah.
He's pretty happy with it, apparently.
It was worth every...
So my invitation.
There was none left.
That's it. Bigger brisket next time. But, all right. Rapid fire round. Here we go. We've got Suzanne, your first cab off the rank here. What's the most exciting Circa product you've developed and why?
Most exciting, I'd go with our arbor flooring. The color range, the texture, and the what's available. I think it's a beautiful looking product, and I think there are so many options, and now we're expanding that into a wider form as well.
This next one, Dan, this is for you. This is a cracker. What's the most unusual challenge you've faced with building, and how did you overcome it?
Managing people.
We've all been there.
How did you overcome it, though?
Holding people's hands, just being a soundboard. That's probably the biggest thing I underestimated was just there's so many different people that you're dealing with. Well, everyone's got their own issues, and it's just trying to bring everyone together and get through it.
Yeah, it is a hot topic at the moment. I know this is rapid fire, but I had this chat yesterday with Damo. It is, people management is, you're stuffed without people in your business. You can't do it all yourself. So it's just trying to find that fine line and I guess promote out there and employ people that have the same vision as you. No one's ever going to have the exact same end goal as you, unfortunately, but just trying to find people that are just as invested and actually want to create a nice career and have your values and your goals in mind as well.
Also appreciating what they bring to the table as well. That diversity actually brings new things, new ideas, and exciting conversations. So if everyone was the same as Isaac, so it's opening up to what they can offer.
There's some rapid fire gold nuggets in there, guys. That's the last one, Damo. I'm going to pump it out. What's the most interesting or unexpected material you've sourced for a project?
Oh, got a couple. Weedy and hot wire.
Weedy and hot wire.
Dan will be able to answer more.
You want to explain hot wire? I think most people know what weedy.
Yeah. So hot wires are underfloor tile heating.
Yeah.
We did a bathroom reno at Damo's house last year, and he tried to showcase some of these new products. Weedy hot wire, and it went okay. It's this probably wasn't for the podcast.
This bit of a stab there. I think he's been thrown under the bus.
Yeah, just got out of that one. That was a drive-by.
Yeah, he tried to sell something that didn't work.
We always go on about fit for purpose, and that one, unfortunately, with the circumstance, wasn't.
Well, if you're in Victoria, Melbourne area, if you're thinking about a Bowens account, just go Damo's way. Don't expect any promises. I'm still waiting for some concert tickets from Damo. I think another story for another day.
Funnily enough, the three of you on this panel are customers of mine. I don't know whether that's a good thing.
Best customers or
customers.
I don't think I bought anything. Yes.
That's it. But no, guys, look, we really appreciate your time, especially Suzanne putting in the work to get us the showroom for the day. And it is an amazing space. We've started using ourselves, and it's building. If you're listening, jump on the socials and have a look at the backdrop. It's an incredible space for designers, interior designers, architects, builders, clients. It's going amazing. So do you want to, Suzanne, actually tell us a little bit where people can find Circa to start with? That'd be great.
Absolutely. So there are a couple of options. So you can go to our website and you can either click on there to request an appointment, or you can give us a call or drop us an email to make an appointment to come in and see us, and we'll show you around. flooring downstairs, and then up here with all the doors, the hardwares, the linings, the arcs, skirts. And on the team, we've got, other than myself, we've got somebody that's got 30 years in hardwares. We've got an architect, and we've got a design graduate. So the whole team is excited about what we supply, what we can do, and about helping do solutions for what it is that they're looking for.
Amazing. And you're
Sorry,
neighbouring.
does Circa have its own individual website, Suzanne, or is it a part of the Bowens website?
We have our own website. There is a bit of a work in progress on that. I'd like it to be developed a little bit further, but at the moment you can certainly see where to find us and how.
Yep. So those listening, if you want to know, obviously how it's spelt, CIRCA is Circa. Damo, I'll probably speak on your behalf here unless you want to, but bowens.com.au.
Spot on. Yep.
Social media as well, if you look it up on Instagram. Dan, lastly, how do people find you, mate?
Yeah, Instagram, Evans Building Group, or just over the website, evansbuildinggroup.com.au.
Fantastic.
And
Thanks.
Circa's actually Circa curated as well, so that's how you'll find it.
Okay.
So Circa curated, all one word.
Yep.
And we're Circa's neighbouring, the neighbour to the Bowens Port Melbourne store as well. So if you need to find the location. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today. Awesome chat with everybody coming in. So really appreciate your time you've taken out of your days.
That wraps up another episode. Hope you've enjoyed it, guys. So yeah, definitely jump over onto the socials and check out the Bowens, Bowens Hardware, Circa Studio, and Evans Building Group. If you want to know more about Build Insight, head over to our Instagram, build.insite, or www.buildinsight.com.au. The website has links to previous podcast episodes as well as links to the YouTube channel, so you can check out more building insights. Thanks again, guys. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insight team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insight podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.